Brandon, in what instances will you accept an offer lower than your sticker price on the vehicle?
So let me tell you how you can actually negotiate with me and get a lower price. And people that know where my dealership is, do not use this against me. Go use it against another car dealer. If you're going to buy a car from me, though, you're not allowed to use this method to get money off of a car. But it will almost every time work against us if you do this. So you need to drive the car, check it out, take it to a mechanic, and find something that's wrong with the car. Have the mechanic find something that's wrong with the car. Even if there's nothing wrong with that car in the moment, find the next thing that's going to need to be fixed. Say, okay, well, the car drives great. You come into us and say, okay, the car drives great, but we noticed that the wheel bearing's making a little bit of noise. Have my mechanic check it out. He said, yeah, this is going to be the next thing we'll have to fix on this vehicle. It's going to cost us about $400 with the bearing and with the labor, all said and done. So can you knock $200 off just to meet me in the middle, so I'll pay for half this job, you pay for half this job. Guess what? We're going to say yes to that. It's a very reasonable ask. It's a very reasonable thing to know that that's going to be the next thing that needs to be fixed. You've got an amount. You don't even have to have a printout. You can just tell us, okay, mechanic says $400. Yeah, it's reasonable. That's about what it's going to cost to get that wheel bearing fixed. We're probably going to knock $200 off in that case, and you'll be able to get a car that's cheaper. Now, one thing that will not work is if you're absolutely ridiculous about your ask. So often we'll have negotiations just shut down. And Nate, my sales manager, won't even if you're reasonable after you do something like this, he's not taking any money off the car because you're ridiculous. But we'll have somebody come in and they'll look at a $3,000 car and they'll be like, okay, this thing's absolute junk and I shouldn't even buy it. But you know what? I'll give you $2,000 for it right now. Obviously, no, we're not knocking off $1,000 on a $3,000 car. If you're going to negotiate, no matter what, if it's me or if it's with another car dealer, if it's a brand new franchise dealer, you have to be reasonable with what you're trying to ask off a vehicle. If you go into a brand new franchise dealer and they have a $50,000 vehicle, that's the average brand new vehicle right now. But you go in there and say, okay, for this $50,000 vehicle, I know you guys aren't selling a whole lot of them. I'm seeing days of inventory go up. I know you've had this vehicle on your lot for 287 days. You have all the information. And you say to them, okay, for this $50,000 vehicle, I will pay you $40,000 for it right now. They're going to say no. It's too much of a spread. They might come back to you and you might get 10% off that vehicle, like a reasonable ask on that vehicle might be somewhere around $45,000. But in a lot of cases, if you start out with guns blazing and you're so far away from the actual asking price of the vehicle, you're going to get shut down. And it might be even the case that, say, on that brand new vehicle, you would pay $45,000. If you get 10% off of that car from that new franchise dealer, you would be willing to get that off. You might shut down the realistic negotiations with that salesperson because they no longer think you are a realistic customer or you're a serious customer because you go in there and ask for the moon on a vehicle. And it's the same thing with us, me being a small used car dealer. If you come in here and you try to get $1,000 off a $3,000 car, we're done. Like we're out. And even if you try to get $200 off after the fact, we're probably not going to do it because Nate, my sales manager, already turned his ears off. And he's like, okay, you want to buy it for $3,000, you buy it. Otherwise, you're wasting my time. Get out of here. He's not going to say that. He's going to be nice about it, but that's basically what he's going to be saying in his head. He's already done with you. So in a lot of cases, there's going to be a lot of other dealers that are going to things. Now, I know there's dealers out there trying to gouge people and they're adding so much to vehicles, and maybe the realistic price of what that vehicle should be is 20% off on that $50,000 car. Maybe it should be $40,000, but here's the thing. You're not going to be able to get it. Even if you think it's a $40,000 vehicle, you're probably just going to have to look at something else because there's not going to be a lot of dealers out there that are going to take 20% off of a vehicle to try to sell it to you. It's just not going to happen in this market. And even in some markets when dealers are suffering greatly, first ask, it's $10,000 off a $50,000 vehicle, you're probably just going to get laughed at. And I know that a lot of dealers, they probably should be selling those vehicles right now for $40,000 just so they can move them off of their floor plans and move them off of their inventory. But in all realism right now, that $40,000 number on the front end, they're probably going to lose money on the front end of that, and they're just not willing to do that right now. And it's going to be probably a very long time, and we're going to have to go through a lot of really hard time here in the car market before that's even realistic. And even before we get to that time period, you're going to have manufacturer discounts. You're going to have incentives that come from the manufacturer to get those prices down to that level. And in a lot of cases, you're not even going to have to ask if it gets that bad, because you're going to see that money come off. And then you could go in and ask for 10% off of the $43,000 vehicle that was a $50,000 vehicle, and then you might be able to get it. But going and asking for this massive spread right off the get-go, probably not going to get it. And you're probably going to get shut down really quickly.
Where is your dealership?
So this is the one that we answer a lot, and I'm not trying to actively hide our dealership, but I'm just not trying to promote it on YouTube. So I am a used car dealer. I do sell cars that are $5,000 and under, and that has led to us getting tons and tons of emails almost on a daily basis asking me where my car dealership is. You want to buy a car from me? Do I ship cars? No, I don't ship cars. Will you take Bitcoin or Pokemon cards for cars? No, I won't. Actually, I would take Pokemon cards, but not Bitcoin. We just don't give out our information on YouTube because I don't want to be that shady used car dealer that's trying to promote my business and telling you what to do when you're buying a car, if you should buy a car right now, if you shouldn't. And behind me, there's a car that I'm trying to sell. It just doesn't feel right. Now, I know there's other YouTubers, creators, whatever you want to call them, that have car dealerships that do promote their business online. And I'm not saying that's a wrong thing. It just feels weird to me if I'm trying to give you advice on when to buy a car or when not to buy a car, and then I turn around and say, okay, well, I've got these cars for sale, you should come buy them from me. I know still there's a lot of you that don't care about that and still would like to come buy a car from us. That's great. Our information's out on the internet somewhere. You can find it. We're not actively trying to scrape everything so you can't find my dealership. You can absolutely find it if you try and you want to find it, and it's out there. We're not going to hide it from you. And if you come to my dealership, I'm not going to tell you can't buy a car from me. But I'm just not trying to say, hey, you shouldn't buy a car unless it's from me. And I've got a car right behind me. Come buy it right now. Here's my website. I just don't want to. I don't want to put those two conflicting elements in any of our videos, because there's some portions of the year where I'm telling you, literally, you shouldn't buy a car. Even if you know where my car dealership is, you should not be buying a car from me right now, because 2 months later, all these cars are going to be $500 to $1,000 cheaper just because we're able to buy them so much cheaper. And that's what I'm trying to give you, is information where you can take what I'm saying and being able to use it no matter what market you're in. If you're close to me, buying a car from me. If you're in another market, you can find someone else that sells cars very similar to what I sell them for. I know, I'm a unicorn, and there's a lot of other car dealers that try to gouge. But there are other good car dealers out there, and there are other car dealers out there that base what they're actually selling their cars for off of what they purchased them for. So that's just what we're trying to do here on YouTube, and I don't want those messages to conflict.
Do you deliver vehicles?
No. Next question. It's no. Don't buy a car that you are not putting your hands on before you buy. No, we don't. Okay. We don't deliver cars.
Also, take it to your mechanic and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
those things.
No. Don't even think about doing this. Don't buy from Carvana either. They sell used cars, and you need to check out a car before you buy the car. I don't care how good their return policy is. It's still a time spend, and it's still a hassle when you can just go check the car out yourself, go find one, and then take it to a mechanic, have it checked out, then buy it.
Do you bring an OBD2 reader or other tools with you at the auction? Love your videos and your integrity.
So the thing that I have to have every time I go check out a car is my scanner. The OBD2 reader is what we're talking about here. That's my scanner. And if I go to an auction and I don't have it with me, then I'm getting back in the car, I'm driving home, and I'm going to get it and bring it back. I've never left it because that's the number one thing that I use to know what's going on with the car. Now, it's not going to check it's not going to catch everything. It's not going to know on some vehicles if the transmission's good or bad. It's not going to know on some vehicles if like a cylinder has like full compression or not. Like it's not doing tests like that. Some of the bigger scanners are going to find more things than the smaller ones are, but you're going to know 90% of what's going on with that vehicle when you scan it. Even if you're an individual, if you're going to go buy a car yourself, you start looking at cars, I always recommend to have a scanner. I recommend that you take it to your mechanic, but you can eliminate a car very easily just by hooking it up to a scanner. And we do that. Myself, my mechanic, Alex, who goes and buys cars for me for our car dealership. That's one of the first things we do. We'll walk around the car, make sure there's no rust, no big dings, dents, check the oil on the car, and the next thing we do is crank the car and scan it. So that's going to be the easiest way for us to eliminate a vehicle. Now, here in North Carolina, as of right now, we have to get emissions inspections done on cars that are like 20 years and newer. And these cars will not pass emissions if they have problem codes in them. So we have to get these things fixed. We have to know what's going on in the car before we buy it. You think about it. I mean, I'm a car dealer. I sell cars that are $5,000 and under. So my margins are not crazy as it is. I don't have a lot of money to play with if I'm going to stay in those ranges. If I'm buying a $2,500, if I'm buying a $3,000 car, I can't have just a lot of $500 sensors pop up that I have to fix before I can get them inspected, before I can actually sell them. And it's legal here in North Carolina I have to have a car that's legal before I can sell it. So it has to go through state inspection before I can sell it. And if it's got a bad O2 sensor, then I can't sell it. I got to fix it. And those little things, they can add up. And if I'm only making $1,000 a car, and I have $300-$400 fix on almost every car because I'm just missing small sensors, stuff that's easy that I could pick up with the O2 sensor. No, I'm not O2 sensor, OBD2 scanner. Then that's something that's very easy to avoid if I'm making sure I check every single car before I buy it. So most important tool, the thing that's made me the most and lost me the least amount of money in my business is my scanner. And every auction that we go to, we make sure that's the thing that we carry with us.
What's a good price scanner for the everyday Joe?
We've got a cheaper one that some of our guys that do drive cycles that they use. I think we only pay like $30 for it. Now but it doesn't read everything. So if you're getting to the point, I want you to be able to read the engine and the transmission. So for you to have those two things, you're probably going to have to step up to probably like a $60 scanner. I know Bosch makes one that Alex likes to use. And the one that I use is like $150, $180, and it's by Bosch too, but he uses the smaller one. But the big two things that you need to make sure it reads is your engine and transmission, because there can be scanners out there that only read the OBD2 and the readiness and things like that for like emissions inspections. But if they're not reading your engine module, the engine computer, and if they're not reading the transmission, then that car could have like a gear that's out of sync. It can have solenoids that aren't doing what they're not shifting how they're supposed to, and if it's like a gear 2 out of ratio code or something like that, and that means your transmission is probably about to go, and you need a transmission scanner to be able to read that. So probably I'm guessing $60 is the lowest that you're going to be able to spend on a scanner that actually reads both your engine and your transmission.
For your car dealer business, have you found more ugly cars at the auction or less ugly cars at the auction for your business?
This is a funny question because I love ugly cars, and I have always loved to buy ugly cars. Right behind me, this side, that is a 2001 Ford Taurus station wagon with busted paint, and it's almost purple. That is an ugly, ugly car. I love buying that kind of stuff because you can buy it for $500, $600, $700 at auction, maybe $1,000 for something like a Toyota Camry that's got real bad paint. And it used to be that I could buy that stuff all day long, pay $1,000 less than what one with good paint would sell for, and then sell it almost instantly because I could sell that Toyota Camry for so much cheaper than every other car dealer would because they just turn their nose up at it. Problem is, we're getting to a time period where I don't know if it's a cultural thing. I don't know if there's just more options for people. I think it's a cultural thing that people are more, they put more weight on what a car actually looks like than how mechanically sound the car is. And this is a sad time because I've had Nate, my sales manager, come to me, and Alex, my mechanic who buys cars from me almost on a daily basis, sit us down, put his hand on both of our shoulders and be like, Alex, Brandon, we can't buy ugly cars anymore. And it hurts. Hit the mic. And it hurts my heart to hear this because there's a large spectrum of ugly cars that I love. A Ford Taurus being one. I love Ford Taurus. I built my business on the back of buying tons and tons of these Ford Taurus and be able to make $700, $800, $900 on them and sell them instantly because they're so cheap. They're so cheap because they're so ugly. And it used to be that people would still buy ugly cars. People don't buy ugly cars anymore. So especially with the Ford Taurus, I'll be looking at one thing. This is a great car. Could have 150,000 miles. It's a 2006. Paint's pristine. The inside is clean as it can be. And we take it and we put it on a car dealership. We're not trying to gouge people. We're not trying to make $2,500 on the car. Make $1,000 on the car. I buy it for $1,500. It won't even sell for $2,500. It's just because people don't want ugly cars. Nate, he just it makes me so sad. And here's the thing. Nate would come to us and say, Brandon, you can't buy these ugly cars anymore. And Nate's a good guy. He's a good employee. He's a good father. And I'm getting to where I don't like him anymore because he tells me things like this and what I can't buy, but he's responsible for what we can sell. So Nate now he gets on my nerves because I can't buy the kind of stuff that I want to buy, but he knows best. But I mean, I might fire him just because he tells me what I can't buy. So I don't know. And then my wife will just rehire him again. And then what kind of power do I have? There's none power.
None. You also don't have a tissue. Would you like for me to get you one?
Do I sound really congested?
You sound like you're whining.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're going to cry.
Shut up. All right.
Were they ugly Ford Tauruses? I
think they're beautiful. Nate, who is a bad person, thinks that they're ugly. I will always have a grievance against Nate just for him coming up. He came up to me and he looked sad and he put his hand on my shoulder and said, Brandon, bro, we can't buy Ford Tauruses anymore. And he knew him doing that. He knew it was going to hurt my feelings. So that's why he did. I mean, he's a good guy. He's just, I don't like him.
He has to deal with a lot. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about me?
Yep.
That's a full-time job.
Yep.